Hello busy people, welcome back to my channel We Code For You. Today I am going to start a new series on sorting techniques. So our first sorting technique is selection sort. Selection sort is a simple and efficient sorting technique and that works by repeatedly selecting the smallest or largest. So here if we take a smallest element, then we can sort them in ascending order. If we consider largest element, then we can sort them in descending order from the unsorted portion of the list and moving it to the sorted portion of the list. So here a selection sort algorithm is a simple algorithm, like we have to select the smallest or largest element from unsorted portion, then we have to swap them to the sorted portion. The technique is simple, so let us understand with an example. So here we have an example, like we are provided with n value, which is the length of the array, which is 5, and also an array which is of length 5. The array consists of elements 64, 25, 12, 22, 11, which are unsorted. So our task is to find an array which is sorted by using selection sort. So let us discuss our approach. So our approach is simple, like first we will select the range of unsorted array using a loop that indicates starting index of the range. The loop will run forward from 0 to n minus 1. The value of I is equals to 0 means the range is from 0 to n minus 1. And similarly, if we select I is equals to 1, then range is from 1 to n minus 1, and so on. Initially the range will be whole array starting from the starting index. So initially our array is unsorted, so our unsorted array range will be starting from 0 index to n minus 1. We'll be starting our unsorted array range from 0 to n minus 1, and also will be moving from 0 index to n minus 1. So first our minimum value is index 0. So 64 is our minimum index. So 54 is our min value. So we have to see if there are present any minimum value from 1 to n minus 2. So we have to see if there are present any smallest elements 1 to n minus 1. So if we see any smallest elements from 1 to n minus 1, then we have to swap that element with our initial minimum value. So 64 is greater than the smallest index, which is found as 11, so we have to swap 11 and 64. So here we'll just swap 11 to here, and we'll swap 64 to here. So this is our first pass. So in our first path we have just swapped 11, 25, 12, 22 and 64. So in our first pass we have pass 1. So here index 1 is swap, index 0 is swap. So it is the smallest element present in our whole array. Then we have to move our minimum index to 1. we have to move our minimum index value to index 1. So 25 is our minimum value and its index is 1. So we have to see if there present any minimum value which is lower than this minimum index value. So 12 is our minimum index value, so we'll just make swap from 12 here to 25 here. This is our second pass. So our second pass is like 11, 12, 25, 22, 64. This is our pass 2. So in same way now our minimum index value moves to 25 and we have to see if they present any values smaller than or greater than. Here we have considered the smallest element, so we have to look for smallest element which is less than our minimum value. So 22 is minimum value, so we have to swap 22 under 25. So here comes 22 and here comes 25. So in our pass 3 we'll get like, so in our pass 3 we will be getting our array like 22, 25, 64, etc. pass 3. So in this way we have sorted our array, and finally we'll select our minimum index as 25 and we'll just see if there present any values minimum than this selected min value. So we'll just see from index 3 to n minus 1. So 64 is greater than 25, so we'll just leave that. So here is in pass 3 we'll get our sorted array by using selection sort. So our approach is simple, like we are just making, so initially we'll just select the range of unsorted array. So initially our unsorted array means from index 0 to n minus 1 range. So after that we'll just make our minimum index value as 0, like first value is our minimum value. So next from index 1 to n minus 1 we'll check there present any minimum value which is less than our minimum value selected, which is 0 index. So if they present any minimum value less than that value, so we'll just swap that one. So that is pass 1. So usually we'll do the same for pass 2 and again for pass 3 until we'll get our whole array sorted. So finally after each iteration we'll find that array is sorted up to the first index of the range. So we'll just swap the minimum value which is in unsorted array to the sorted array. So in that way we'll just sort the whole array. So likewise we'll just do coding. So here is the question. So given an unsorted array of size n, use selection sort to sort array in descending or increasing order, or which means ascending order. So likewise we'll do it for descending order. So our example is we are provided with n value is equals to 5 and array value is 4, 1, 3, 9, 7. So we have to sort it using selection sort. So after sorting our output should be 1, 3, 479, which is in ascending order. So our example 2 also is similar, like we have provided with n value, like length of the array is equals to 10 and 10 array values, so we have to sort them. So our task is to, you don't need to read input or print anything. Complete the function select and selection sort, where select takes array and starting point of unsorted array I as input parameters and returns the selected element for each iteration in selection sort. And we'll start coding selection sort function. So in this function we are going to start a loop for the unsorted array. So initially our unsorted array range is from 0 index, so from I is equals to 0 to I less than n minus 1. So in that we'll just find the minimum index in the unsorted array. So for that we'll write select function will pass array and our index 1 as our minimum index. So here we'll just going to find our minimum index. So for that I'll just use a variable minimum int which is initialized with I value, and here I'm just going to find the unsorted array range from index 1 to n minus 1. So j is equals to I plus 1. So initially our unsorted array range is start from 0 to n minus 1. So so I have to see if there present any minimum value which are less than our minimum index value is equals to I. So for that I'll just start j is equals to I minus 1 and j less than array length j plus plus. So from here I'll just check a condition if array of min index is greater than array of our index value which is in unsorted array. If their condition is true, then I'll just initialize our min index value as j. So after this loop I'll just return our minimum index. So from here we have found our minimum index value. So let's come back to our selection sort. So here we got our minimum index. So our task is to swap that minimum index value and our initially min value. So I'll just use a temporary variable to sort or to swap two values. So initially I'll just make use of temp and I'll just store array of min index value. Then in array of min index value I'll just store array of I value. So in array of I value I'll again store temp value. So in this way we can sort our whole. So not in for loop, I'll just sorry we have done correct only. So every time we'll find our minimum index value and just we'll swap it from unsorted array to sorted array. So in this way we can sort our array using selection sort. We'll just compile it. It is successful and we'll try to submit it.